नमस्कार। हिस्ट्री क्लास मैं जगदीश कुमार, क्वालिफिकेशन एमए बीएड, डिजिग्नेशन लेक्चर इन हिस्ट्री, स्कूल एचएसएस नागसेनी, डिस्ट्रिक्ट किश्तवाड़। तो वही यूनिट है जो चल रहा है, यूनिट छठा है ये, 3 ऑर्डर्स वेस्टर्न यूरोप 13 to 16। तो आज का क्वेश्चन है फॉर्मेशन ऑफ स्टेट्स। डिस्कस द फैक्टर विच लेड टू राइज ऑफ नेशन states in medieval Europe. So the several factors were responsible for the rise of nation states. A brief description of these are as under. Decline of feudalism. Decline of feudalism in the beginning, पहले हमने feudalism के बारे में पढ़ा था, of the 16th century proved to be a potent cause responsible for the rise of nation states. तो rise of nation states में feudalism का system चला था यूरोप में. The medieval lords were very powerful. Medieval lords powerful थे. They had their own army. They had the right to mint their own coins. उनके अपने नाम पर सिक्के चलते थे. They had their own courts wherein they dispensed justice to the case pertaining to the people living in the manor. They had the right to impose taxes on the people. राजा को टैक्स impose करता था, so far so that even the king was under their influence. Under these circumstances, the king was hesitant to initiate any steps to curb the authority of lords, but the situation began to undergo a gradual change. The people turned hostile towards the lords due to their progressive attitude. The Kursuis took all the large number of feudal lords. It gave a fatal blow of their power. तो वो फेडरल लॉर्ड्स का हेड होता था. several of the federal lords left their states and got settled in towns. तो टाउन में सेटल होते थे. इन फर्दर weakened their authority. इससे राजा की अथॉरिटी कमज़ोर हो जाती थी. besides this the mutual conflicts between the lord proved ruins for them. और इनके जो झगड़े थे उससे राजा का नुकसान होता था. the decline of the feudalism prepared the foundation for the rise of nation states. तो फेडरलिज्म के ख़त्म होने से राइज ऑफ द नेशन स्टेट्स का हो गया. अकॉर्डिंग टू द फेमस हिस्टोरियन C.J.H. Havis, by the 16th century feudalism was declining and soon the federal lord would be no position to oppose royal absolutism. Influence of the church. The church had a deep impact upon the rulers and the people of Europe during the Middle Age. तो मिडल एज में चर्च का बहुत बड़ा रोल था. उसी के इशारे पर राज चलता था. It enjoyed unlimited powers. No person or the king could ever dare to disobey the commands of church. तो जो भी राजा था उसको चर्च का सुनना पड़ता था. On account of its mammoth wealth, the church soon degenerated into a center of moral turpitude. The pope and the bishops etc. started leading a life full of luxuries. ऐशोआराम की जिंदगी थी. The widespread immorality as warm rampant in the church resulted in the erosion of the reverence among the people towards it. By the beginning of the 16th century, the horizon of Europe outlook had enormously expanded. So the people refused to believe in the hollow superstition so assiduously preached by the church. Besides this, several of the powerful rulers from across the Europe also declined to acknowledge the sovereignty of the church. During the Crusades, the Pope had guided the Europe nations. वो गाइड करते थे चर्च. The Europeans ultimately had to suffer defeat in the Crusades. It gave a fatal blow of the prestige of the church. As a result, the rise of nation states got a golden opportunity for the formation. The Crusades. The Crusades were fought between the European Christian and Muslim during the period from 11th century into the 13th century. तो यूरोपियन क्रिश्चियन और राजाओं में मतभेद थे, लड़ाई होती थी आपस में. द मुस्लिम ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड और मुस्लिम ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड 11 to 13th century. इन दीज Crusades द लॉर्ड्स डाइड इन द लार्ज नंबर्स. तो लॉर्ड्स जो थे उनकी मृत्यु होगी. इट गिव ए फाटल ब्लो टू देयर authority in the course of these church sponsored wars. और चर्च के साथ लड़ाई तक भी हो जाते थे. The European rulers came to know about the political setup as was prevailing in the West Eastern countries. They were highly impressed with the notions of absolute monarchy. तो वो एब्सोल्यूट मोनार्ची पूरी पावर अपने हाथ में चाहते थे, वो चर्च के जो पादरी थे उनका नहीं सुनना चाहते थे. एज ए प्रेवलेंट इन दिस कंट्रीज दस दे मेड अप देयर माइंड्स टू to a similar political system European country which aimed the tide of the widespread anarchy across the Europe forward the support of their rulers, bringing about the desired political change. Under Italy, it proved to be a significant step in the direction of the rise of nation states in Europe. The rise of the middle class. The rise of the middle class played a significant role in the rise of nation states. तो middle class का बहुत बड़ा रोल था. The middle class consisted of chiefly rich businessmen. इसमें अमीर लोग थे, businessmen थे. They made active cooperation towards the establishment of the absolute monarch. तो absolute monarch independent राजा में हुकूमत में उनका काफ़ी इंटरेस्ट था, योगदान था. With an aim to encourage their trade in its security, they made up their minds strengthen the hands of absolute monarch in order to protect themselves from the excesses being committed by the lords, and also to dispel to prevalent anarchy. At the nobility was very powerful in the parliament. The middle class desired royal control over its activities. With this aim in mind, the middle class promised payment of taxes to the king, the payment of these taxes by the people, and that to in prominent manner helped the king organize regular and a powerful army. Thus powerful standing army helped the king to crush the authority of the nobles. Besides this, king secured several hard-working and educated officers from amongst the middle classes. These officials helped the king in giving efficient administration to his people. Undoubtedly, the rise of the middle class proved to be turning point to the history of Europe. तो मिडिल क्लास का बहुत बड़ा रोल था, राजा को पावर दी थी, उसको पूरा सहयोग दिया था एक स्टेट बनाने के लिए. राइज ऑफ द पावरफुल रूलर. इट वाज इंडीड फॉर्चुनेट दैट there came to a several powerful rulers in Europe towards the end of the 15th century. तो पावरफुल राज्य बन गए, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बन गई थी, स्टेट्स बन गई थी. एंड द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द 16th century, द नेम फ्रेंच मोनार्च लुइस 11th, ब्रिटिश मोनार्च हेनरी 8th, स्पेनिश किंग Ferdinand, and Empress Isabella and other Austrian rulers and Maximilian the worth mentioning among them. These rulers organized a powerful standing army. तो इनकी standing army भी थी. It was provided guns and large cannons. The rulers found it much easy to crush the power of the lords. With the help of this army, the feudal forces which had grown quite feeble so that they were no match to the modern royal forces. तो इनका मुकाबला फेडरल लॉर्ड्स कर नहीं सकते थे, उनको हराया. Besides this, the royal forces also helped in the extension and protection of the nation boundaries. The king, with the aim of increase their income, imposed new taxes upon the people. Nobility objected to the royal endeavor, aiming at the centralization of authority and the imposition of the new taxes. तो राजा पावर जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन थी वो पावरफुल बन गए थे. मोनार स्टेट्स अंडर दी सर्कमस्टांसेस देयर ब्रोक आउट रिवॉल्ट इन इंग्लैंड 1497 सी to 1536 सी, 1547 C, 1549 C, 1553 C, but all these revolts were crushed. Similarly, the French Emperor Louis XI had to wage a long war against the dukes. Ultimately, he succeeded in his efforts. These achievements proved invaluable for the cause of the rise of the nation states. तो इसमें rise हुआ nation states का. Writing of the scholars. Towards the end of the 15th century, in the beginning of the 16th century, there came a prominence several such scholars who played a significant role in the rise of nation states with their writings. Among them, the nations of Machiavelli of Italy, Bodin of France, and Thomas Hobbes of England. The worth mentioning Machiavelli's treatise, The Price, was published 1513 C. It shows tired imagination of Europe people as a whole. The writer praised the notions of absolute monarchy in this treatise, declared it to be the best amongst all the steps of the governmental steps. He was the opinion that the king alone knows better about the interest of the state, so the people should always give him unquestioned support and cooperation. The king should be respect international treaties in the north coast. तो इसी के साथ हमारा ये क्वेश्चन यहीं पर समाप्त होता है. नमस्कार।